Because I love capitalism so much, it brings me great pleasure to read you the news. Anti-capitalist coffee shop shuts down in Toronto after only 1 year due to lack of income. F the colonial death camp we call Canada. I'd like to go to their website. I'd like to read you about why they're closing down. And then I just want to rant about business and why communists fail. Oh, you'll love this one. Sadly, the Anarchist will be closing its doors on May 30th. The first thing I want to say, I'm so excited, is that I'm sad this business is closing down. I respect and appreciate the attempt at running this business in a unique way. This is what makes capitalism so great. A decentralized network of individuals trying to make things of value to better society and then trading amongst each other. Now, there are problems that come along with that. Drugs and addiction and things like that. You know, coffee, it's addictive, caffeine. And so we tolerate certain things because mostly we find coffee to be a good thing. That even though it is addictive, like the worst thing is you get a headache for a day or whatever, and then you're over. It's not like it kills you or anything like that. But I like the idea of decentralized networks working towards building value. For this business, I appreciate the attempt. And it's sad to see any business fail, but that's reality. Let me tell you. He says, it's been an amazing experience connecting with so many of you. He says, raising the blood pressure of conservatives, including you, anarcho-capitalists and libertarians. I love that. Why would you raise their blood pressure? You failed. Their blood pressure is only up because they're laughing at you. But here's the point. This was an expensive cafe that claimed to be anarchist and is shutting down. And he has all of these little things all over his website about just like hating the right, F the rich, F the police, F the state, F the colonial death camp we call Canada. So I popped over to the FAQs. Why are your prices so high? I love this. So you mean to tell me that when you go to the corporate the Starbucks, it's cheaper? No. Hey, look, I don't like Starbucks as a corporation, but I will tell you this. I go to a local cafe. They don't carry heavy whipping cream. That is offensive. Half and half? Get out of here with that. I don't drink that garbage. There's sugar in it. All right. I'm half kidding about the sugar, but I like heavy whipping cream in my coffee more than I like half and half because it just makes it creamier and more delicious. Starbucks has heavy whipping cream and no problem. You say, I want a coffee with heavy cream in it. They go, boop, there you go. No issue. And it's not that expensive. That's why they're successful. Now, I'd like to beat them at their own game because I'm not a fan of Starbucks. Yo, I went to a Starbucks in Virginia yesterday. No joke. Not kidding. There were two Starbucks right next to each other. Not kidding. One was inside a supermarket and you can see in the window Starbucks. And then right next to it was a standalone Starbucks. And I was like, wow. But you know what it is? The demand was so high that both had lines. So they're just basically running two registers slightly separated. That's how much people love Starbucks. Take a look at this. Let's talk business. He goes on to say, for the entirety of my adult life, I've been working in the specialty coffee industry. This is basically the small part of the coffee industry that deals with the highest quality coffee from the taste perspective. As with a lot of quality-oriented niche things, a lot of the people getting into this area weren't actually rich people until recently and have just been driven by a passion for the coffee, blah, blah, blah. That's why it's so expensive to buy from me. Now, he says he did have some pay-what-you-will models. And what I've heard is that, here's what he says. That's why I started doing pay-what-you-can drip coffee, which loses me money, but is subsidized by the more expensive drinks. That's also why I continue to scrutinize my prices and look for opportunities to lower them. Maybe when the shop has a couple more workers, allowing us to make significantly more drinks per day, we'll be able to do an across-the-board price cut. Basically, a latte could cost, however many dollars. He says, what is it, $5 to $6 croissants or something. But the drip coffee was pay me what you can. It wasn't a mention. You have people in designer suits paying $1 for a coffee and unhoused people. It's just such a disgusting and offensive psychopathic cult term. Unhoused. Trying to give me 10. No, you don't, you liar. Please. Unhoused people trying to give me $10. These people are in a cult. I got a story for you. I'm 16 years old. I get off the Red Line in Chicago. I've been working a minimum wage job. And I got my paycheck, so I had a couple $100, and I was very excited. I get off the train and there's a homeless guy. And he's like, man, could you help me get some food? And I was like, yeah, I can help you get some food. And I walk up to the little kiosk where they had food. And I said, just pick one thing to drink and one thing to eat. And he goes, all right, let me get the Cheetos. Let me get the ginger ale and Newport Box 100s. And then the guy was like, I can't sell the cigarettes because this kid's 16 years old. And he was like, give me the money. And I was like, dude, I'm not buying you cigarettes. And he goes, I thought you was cool, man. And I was like, all right, dude, here's the money. Be happy. There you go. This dude was not about to give $10 for a cup of coffee. No, these cult members are liars. But I love this. I love this. Here's one of the FAQ questions. Where did you get the investment capital, vomit, to start the business? I didn't. Pop Coffee Works, who are my house roaster and landlord at the cafe, extremely generously offered to let me take over their pre-existing cafe for 6 months for free. After that, I'll be paying them a very discounted rent. With their incredibly anti-capitalist generosity, the cafe would never have happened, and I would never have been able to afford to start my own business without selling my soul to some sketchy investors. So all I had to pay for at the start was anything I wanted to sell, and the internet and utilities. Even that was a lot more money than I had, but with the magic of credit card debt, I was able to get the ball rolling and have gradually been adding to the shop as things sell. I read this and my brain nearly exploded. Oh, you're so cute, leftists. Let me explain. I love business. So the free rent is taxable income. The credit card debt is a loan from a bank. Wow. These people are so stupid. So insanely stupid. And they vote. Now, this guy's up in Canada, fine. But holy crap. How do we deal with such stupid people, man? This one breaks my heart, but makes me laugh at the same time. A business owner that gives you free rent in the United States, I can't speak for Canada, is legally required to they're giving you something of value. Now, in the United States, $15,000 is the gift exchange. After that, you can go for like a lifetime gift thing. But typically, there's a consideration here. This is a landlord renting you property at a discounted rate. Yeah, that's taxable income, my friend. Free rent does not exist. Remember when Oprah gave all those cars away and then everyone had to pay taxes on the income? That's how taxes work. Thanks, socialists. And I love how he says credit card debt. Credit card debt is quite literally a bank issuing you a loan. You have to pay it back with interest. What do you think investment capital is? Oh, and this is why he went out of business. Because he's like, I'm going to give things away for free because I'm a communist, and then you can't pay for things. Let me tell you, I'll give you some advice. We're opening a coffee shop. Here's what we're going to do. You see, we sell coffee at castbrew.com, and we make profit on that coffee. And do you know what we do with that profit? We reinvest it into expanding the business. I have lost a lot of money launching castbrew.com, our own coffee brand. We've sold out of our 2 signature blends, Rise with Roberto Jr. and Appalachian Nights. We still have available some Colombian and French roast, standard roasts. We are working on a couple suggestions from our fans and members. We have Sleepy Joe Decaf, Unwoke Decaf. We have Focus with Mr. Bocus, and we have Mr. Bocus Pumpkin Spice Experience. We're very excited for this. Launching each one of these is ridiculously expensive. We have to pay for thousands of bags up front. They have to be printed. It takes weeks. I had to invest, let me just say, tens of thousands of dollars, nearly $100,000 to get this off the ground, to be able to start this business. So we have to charge more money than it costs to make these things. Why? One, to make back the initial investment made, because we're trying to run a business successfully. After we pay back the initial investment or loan, how do we, what do we then do with the profit margin? We then take that and we put it into a savings account. Why? In the event there is a disruption, we need money to buy new products, to recover any losses. This is the problem with doing a pay whatever you want thing. If you're giving coffee away, one day you'll have a batch of coffee on a truck. It will be delivered to you, and then all of a sudden rats will burst from it. You'll call up your supplier and say, yo, what's with all these coffee bags full of rats? And they'll say, we know what you're talking about. We delivered. Take it up with the delivery company. Delivery company say, all we do is transport. Take it up with the coffee roaster. And then you'll be sitting there holding an empty bag with no coffee. And you'll say, we have no coffee. Where am I going to find $10,000 to buy coffee for the shop? Sure, you can sue, you can complain, and maybe in a few weeks you might get some new coffee. Or maybe the company even says, sorry about that. We'll have a new fresh batch roasted and sent to you. It'll be there in 10 days. What am I going to do now? I got to get coffee. Well, do you have any money? No. You have no savings? Why? Oh, because you were giving your coffee away for free? Brilliant strategy. I just love this. I love this. Credit card debt. Bro, you asked a bank for a loan. That's called investment capital. Are your workers a co-op? Not yet. Is your coffee ethically sourced? There is, of course, no ethical consumption under capitalism. Yeah, and today there still isn't. How can you be anti-capitalist if you sell things? LOL. Oh, good. Another business owned by a rich white guy. Well, not a question. This criticism is at least partially a valid reaction to the imperfect media coverage I've received so far. It would be one of my first reactions if I heard about the business. However, the first thing I do about the reaction, blah, 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 blah. I am definitely not rich. I come from working class background. My dad eventually selling his soul to teach at a private school did give me some middle class privilege. Okay, dude. I've been a server my entire adult life. I am white, cisgender, queer man. When I used to daydream about opening my own cafe, the idea always left a bad taste in my mouth because I also feel bad the world doesn't need more things owned by people. Hypocrisy. That's it. Hypocrisy. Their ideas are bad. That's why they don't work. I don't charge people. I don't take profit off of my sales because I'm trying to buy myself an infinity pool. We sell coffee at castbrew.com. Buy some. And there is a overhead percentage more than it costs to make the coffee. Even though we've done that, we are still losing money. Because here's what happened. We launched. We sold out of our signature blends. Now we have to reorder. We have some money from the profits, but the total amount of profits don't cost the new amount that we have to order, seeing how many people were ordering. Now, what we could do is we could say, hey, look, we actually made a little bit extra money. So that means we can order the same amount. And in about 6 weeks, we'll have a fresh, small batch, and then we'll sell out in another 2 weeks. That means you as a customer have to wait a month or so in between being able to buy coffee. Well, that doesn't make sense, does it? Considering the demand is there, we want to make sure we're roasting just enough to keep. We want to find that happy medium where the coffee is always fresh, delivered to you, and that we're not selling out so that no one can get it. So that means now that we see we made some money, I have to put more money in to do a bigger batch. Plus K-Cups, initial investment. I do believe we'll make the money back because castbrew.com is generating revenue. But then we have to put aside 3 to 6 months of all of the money we make in a savings account or a safe investment in the event there is a crisis and we lose money. Maybe a portion of the coffee goes bad. Maybe something happens and we have to spend money on legal fees. Who knows? We need a safety net so that the company can survive. So maybe in about a year or two, as even this guy points out, the profits coming in every month will be considered then income. But I have a feeling that won't be the case for maybe 10 years. I do not expect to generate profit from the company for myself on castbrew.com. This is the real hippie, lefty, anarchist, whatever response. I am going to reinvest all of the money. It's actually the capitalist response. I'm going to reinvest the money in making sure that the employees we hire on are well paid, that they have benefits, that we can open new locations, that we can challenge the corporate, the establishment, the woke, the ESG. So I will tell you this. The reason this story makes me laugh. I am going to do what you could not, sir. I am going to open a legitimate coffee shop with real values, with fair trade organic coffee that we sell at a lower markup than the corporate brands, put them out of business and do right by our people and our customers. and we're going to build culture all over this country, and we're going to win. I appreciate the effort, dude. I think it's great that you tried something new. Sorry to see it didn't work out, but really, I think you're a hypocrite. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes. Stick around, and I'll see you all shortly.